um, Bar Rants episode 16.
Was like, you already forgot, didn't you? When you went, I was like, he doesn't remember what number it was.
It wasn't the number. I just forgot like
Everything,
everything.
except for breathing and fine dining.
Yep. How do you know me so well?
Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Justin.
We're Bear on the keyboard, and this is a
Oh,
bar rant. How's it going, buddy? How you doing, Justy?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How are you doing?
Doing okay. We had a weird afternoon, didn't we?
We've had a weird afternoon.
We had some drama we needed to take care of, but
I'm
hey,
not even gonna call it that. You called it that. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna call it drama. Yeah,
I don't.
it was resolved fine, but I'm gonna call it drama still.
I'm not fucking USA or TNT or whatever fucking channel that was that knows drama. So I don't know drama. I don't know.
What was that? I remember that tagline,
Yeah, it was
but I
one
can't
of
remember
those
the
network
channel.
channels. But I don't know which one. Anyhow,
Anyway,
it was, I don't know, it was interesting and it happened, but it's made for a fun headspace, I think is a better way to say it than weird.
yeah, we've got high energy right now. I think we're both like, our heads were spinning for a little bit there, and now we're just like, okay, time to get into podcast mode, which needs to be like medium. We need to be even keel.
Yeah.
We've discussed this before. Like when you podcast, if you're too high energy, it comes off a little manic. But when you're too
Right.
low, we just come off as sleepy. So
sleepy or dead, one of the two.
one of the two. So first and foremost, we want to get this out of the way. We want to say a special thanks to Wildman Drinking Company. We got ourselves the Kraken 2.0 right here. You guys can get one yourself by following the link below. That gives you 10% off your purchase, and it gets us a little kickback, so you'd be helping out the channel and supporting us. We're actually going to do a shotgun because we've talked about this a couple podcasts now, but we've actually haven't done one live yet. So let's go ahead. It's very simple. Has this little hook and this little fulcrum, and you just right into your can there. Nice silicone gasket on the Kraken 2.0 that allows it to stay relatively watertight.
Yeah.
I mean, speaks for itself right there. I mean, that came out of the tip, didn't come out of the... Oop.
I let my
Little dribblies.
come up a little bit, which is interesting, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Now it's all like hella dribbly. It's like, oh, I heard y'all were talking shit. So I was just dribbling all over my knee. But you're supposed to drink it, not sit there and hold it, to be fair.
I also like to keep mine, tilted just to be safe, but I'll give it a little tilt for you guys. You see, this guy's not doing any damage here with my tilt there. I'm not going to go down further than that, but it holds. It does a very great job, and ultimately,
Makes for a very smooth shotgun.
it does. All right.
So let's get right into it. What do you think? I'm going to move my mic too.
I'm going to move that. I'm going to sound a little quiet, but...
We do the zicky zacky, not addicted. Zicky zacky, not addicted. Zicky zacky, not addicted.
Anyways, go for it, buddy, while I open mine. Guys, I forgot how to open a beer. Don't mind me.
Just that fast, just that easy, just that clean. Papa John's.
Excuse me. Well, you guys got to witness my fun little struggle there. I went to crack that open, and the tab just slid over.
Oh,
and I was
fun.
like, oh no, okay. And then I couldn't get it to knot, and so I had to do it at an angle. It was awkward, but the shotgunning wasn't. Once I cracked her, tipped her back, and it's a fantastic, like, I am a 39-year-old man, and all I gotta say is, why am I shotgunning beer still? Doesn't matter. This makes it easy.
We've thrust this upon ourselves. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's
I
our
know.
own fault. We're the masters of our own demise when it comes to this kind of shit.
If I were at parties shotgunning, this is literally something I would just have them. Like, it would be a fun party favor to have.
Oh, yeah. And Yeah, they would make for great party favors to like pass out, especially because you can buy them in bulk. You can get like I think a 5 or a 10 pack. I think it's 3, 5, or a 10 pack of these. They're cool little products. They're really easy to clean. This silicone gasket comes off so that you can clean that too. They're pretty much dishwasher safe. I ran these through the dishwasher. They came out just fine.
They are indeed dishwasher safe.
Yeah, and they even have a cute little keychain thing. I mean, I wouldn't put this on my keys, but you could put it on like a backpack or
I'm not putting it on
whatever.
my keys because I'm not putting that in my pocket.
Yeah, that seems a little pokey. I don't want to shotgun my femur, so.
But it's great for my fucking.
But it's great for punching into a can.
Yeah.
Anyway, so once again, thanks to Wildman Drinking Company. Check out the link below, or just use code Beer on the Keyboard for 10% off.
Yes.
Appreciate
it. Like you said, thanks. Fantastic product. It really is.
Yeah.
For this, I recommend if you're going to shotgun beers, just buy one.
Get one. They're not super expensive in the first place, and then you can save even more money. So do it to it. All right, man. So I just got back from Portland.
Yeah, so you were just telling me about this. You got back from Portland to go to a book signing?
Yeah. Okay. So went to a book signing / meet and greet out in Portland at a Powell's Books out there.
I love meat. Just the dead stare.
This is dead silence, dead stare. So it was a meet and greet with
people. Sorry,
eating people.
Yeah. So out at Powell's, you were saying.
Yeah, it was with Fritz from Old Time Hawkey, who is he's a content creator who does kind of developed this whole male outdoorsy cozy aesthetic. Like I don't say he was responsible for that. I think a lot of people are way into like that outdoor lifestyle and stuff like that. But he kind of popularized it more and then put in a nice peppering of millennial nostalgia throughout it too, where he's like often playing an old N64 game or his Game Boy or something like that while he's like prepping meals and everything. And he's a lot of fun. So he released a cookbook, which I believe was Kickstarter funded. But he got a cookbook published and was doing a book tour where he was doing signings and meet and greets with people. So me and my lady went out there, and because we're both big fans of him. He's just a cool guy. I think he got a lot of people through COVID, honestly. Like he really kicked off in popularity.
Classic.
Yeah, he really kicked off in popularity around COVID. And I think that's because he was just like this wholesome, cool dude who was just like out doing cool stuff, and he was
already living in solitude.
Yeah, he was already very isolated, but he was like kind of just showing people how you can have fun with that and just kind of like open your eyes to enjoy nature and enjoy life a little bit more, I guess. It just overall pretty not in that saccharine of a fucking way, not in a cynical way.
I know not. I'm just making jokes. You know I love being outdoors.
Yeah.
Like I'm just making jokes because I can't help myself.
I know. And also we've had a few beers in us anyway, so
at least a few.
we got a head start today. So anyway, we go to this and we're talking with the guy after waiting in line for a while because a lot of people did show up, and I asked him. I was just like, so hey, now that I get a chance to ask you, isn't it crazy? Do you ever think that it's just fucking crazy that you're this dude who lives in this cabin and plays old video games, and like all of these people showed up just to see you? And his cabin's out in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So on top of everything else, he's halfway across the country. So here he is in Portland, Oregon, among other places too. He was a whole tour. But here he is in Portland, Oregon. There's this huge crowd here to see him, and he's like, "Yo, I still can't believe it." Like he's like, it's I never had this mindset of being this big going into this, and here I am. And then he phrased it as it's the best hill I ever fell down. Is how which is a great expression. I love that.
I like that a lot.
It's great. Like it's an old world kind of sounding expression. I was like, oh, I like that. And then as we chatted with him a little bit longer, and then we were kind of doing a photo op and stuff. And he was saying to me during the photo op, he's like, yo, I actually haven't told anybody this. He didn't say yo a lot. I'm just putting this is me paraphrasing. I say yo.
Yeah, I was going to say you're paraphrasing him, therefore you're also using your lingo, if you will.
Yeah, precisely. And so he was like, I haven't told anybody else this, but about 3 hours ago, I just found out that my book is a New York Times bestseller. And I was like, dude, congratulations. That's fucking awesome. You must be stoked. He's like, I am pretty excited, and that's why I love doing this stuff, because it's you guys that help me do this.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was like, well, you mean a lot to a lot of people, man. So, like,
Yeah.
especially there's so many little boys who were waiting in line with their dads to meet this guy, and they were just like, what an awesome, wholesome, fucking, and also very non-toxic masculine figure for them to look up to.
Yes.
Like, because like being outdoors and camping and stuff like that, it's all very manly shit. But he's also just like, fucking enjoy life and be good and try to be good, and like, I don't know. He's a cool guy. Long story short, very down to earth, very cool fellow. But it got me thinking, because as we had a little brief discussion with him, he did mention that he was from a town of like 700 people, which is nothing. That's way smaller than this town. We live in a small city, I guess. Not be really technical about things.
We do actually live in a small city.
Yeah.
With that small town mentality that they.
A small city with a small town vibe. Yeah, that's kind of how I described Leb. Yeah.
I like to say mentality as opposed to vibe, only because it's like they're really struggling to keep a hold of it, while also growing at the same time. And I'm like, you're making things a little weird.
No, I got you.
But I'm not going to go into that.
Grasping at straws, even some people might say, is what a lot of the old timers in this town are doing.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go into that. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, 700 is I mean, 700 is nothing for a population.
That's tiny.
That is very, very tiny.
There's a good chance you know everyone. Like, at least every family. You know what I mean? Even if you don't know everyone, there's a good chance you know pretty much every family.
The idea that you have in your head when he said, there's a good chance you know everyone, and you're like, I don't even know 700 people. Not off the top of your head, but if you ran into those people, you'd be like, no, I do know that. Especially if it's in a small town of 700 people and you see them so frequently, you'd literally be like, oh, no, I don't know 700 people, until you walk through and you're like...
Your brain goes, oh, recognize that person, I recognize that person, I recognize that person.
Brain instantly is like, oh, yeah, well, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just because you know someone doesn't mean you're like fucking sitting across from them talking about shit.
Yeah.
You know them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very tiny. But from 700 people he came from,
yeah,
to turn into what does he got for fucking?
I think his Instagram followers is something like 3 million
just
people.
On his Instagram,
and that's just his Instagram.
Just a small.
His TikTok is probably bigger than that.
Yeah, I was gonna say just a small 3 million.
Tends to do short form content, so I don't know if he has a YouTube or anything like that. I mean, you guys, if you haven't heard of him already, he doesn't need any more exposure, especially not from us. But I'll post a link to his stuff too in there.
We're talking about him. May as well.
And he's a good guy, and I think he deserves even more followers, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, yeah, going from the 700 to millions of people following you is wild. It's mind-boggling, and
impressive.
Yeah, and it kind of made me start to think about like what we do, and we come from a relatively small town. We have this...
A small town of relatives? Oh my.
No, not a small town of relatives. A relatively small town.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Why would anyone say that? We come from a small town where everyone's related. Ain't that right, third cousin, twice removed, Justin? No relation.
No relation, yeah. Oh, fuck yes.
My brother from another mother and father.
And my father. And completely different grandparents and lineage all around.
Ancestors.
He actually comes from the well. I come from...
From a well? I crawled out of a well?
Oh, got me on my speech?
Yeah,
nice,
no, I'm gonna.
Buddy. I know.
I'm busting my chops this whole fucking podcast. I gotta get yours,
good.
too.
That was good. But yeah, he did. He crawled out.
But yeah, I did. It was very scary. I'm like the ring girl, except I wear Aloha shirts and drink beer.
Yeah.
I just crawl out like, who wants to party?
I was about to say, it's very Samara like. That's her name, right? Samara?
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Oh, me neither.
But yeah, it got me thinking how, from our perspective, we've been, we're not nearly as big as him or nearly as big as other people would consider small scale creators.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, I know.
But we are from a small town, and we do have this platform to kind of voice our perspective and our opinions on things without being, Hollywood elite or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's really cool that somebody can just go from being a dude who lives in a cabin in a town of 700 people to a dude who has a New York Times bestseller in the gap of like 4 years.
And
in the
still
span of 4
live
years.
in a cabin.
And that's his shtick. Yeah, that's his whole shtick.
I mean, yeah, you wouldn't change that.
No.
But it's very cool, and like you're saying, like it's possible.
Yeah.
It's feasible for anyone to do it. You just have to find the right thing that hits. And I guess on our aspect, be slightly more likable. But other than that...
Yeah, we're pretty unlikable, that's fair.
Other than that, like, we've almost got this. We're working on the likability thing. We're hoping you guys can help us with that in the comments to let us know how to be more likable and getting names correct about random movie references. But
I think that the main thing I guess I'm trying to get to here is that by just being yourself and voicing your opinion, you can suddenly have success with that. And yes, like I think the internet's a beautiful thing because of that. Because first of all, we're white guys. And second of all, yeah,
I forget about that often.
I know, me too.
I don't have any mirrors in my house, so I don't see what I look like often. Well, probably because I'm a white guy, and whites are the worst. That's my opinion. No one else's. Beer on the keyboard does not represent that.
We condone nothing.
We condone nothing.
So we're two white guys who are mostly heterosexual, and
I mean we're basically not gay.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we're come from this like lower middle class kind of background, and so we represent a huge chunk of America, and a lot of people feel like your voice, your opinion's already out there. But I really don't feel like it is until you get something like, oh, wait, we can do whatever we want. We can say whatever we want on the internet as far as that's concerned. Now, some people take that into a bad direction, but I think the internet's a beautiful thing as far as people are able to get a voice and have a voice and voice their opinion. And yes, like there's tons of podcasters out there who are coming from a queer perspective or a African American perspective or a whatever perspective. That's
awesome. I've got a couple of channels I really enjoy. You guys know how to get a hold of us on our Discord, and I can get you those links. I'm not going to put them in the video here. Great stuff. Like, we're not against any of this.
Yeah.
But I'm also just saying, like, there's a couple that I really enjoy podcasts. These perspectives. It's just fun to listen to. Yeah. Keep going.
But I do feel like we're more than just these little census points about ourselves.
Exactly.
We have more life experience than just being white, lower middle class, straight Americans.
He absolutely
males
does.
on top of that too.
He absolutely does. I don't have much of anything.
We both have stories to tell all the time.
We do. Absolutely. 100%.
Everyone has a story to tell, and that's what's so cool about the internet.
That right there. So
Yeah.
I do truly believe, I don't care, like, you can easily, like you said, census points is the best way to describe it. Put that on there. You can use that as a platform to launch off of and sell stuff. It doesn't work for everyone in all of those aspects.
Yeah, just because you are a black creator or an Asian creator does not necessarily mean automatic success.
No, it does
Not guarantee that.
Not even.
Neither does being a white creator or a straight creator or a gay creator or whatever guarantee automatic success.
Census points will help get rid of discrimination if we get rid of that, but that's another topic as well.
Kind of, yeah.
So I said help.
Yeah.
Prejudice, at least.
People are always going to have individual prejudices.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, people are allowed to feel how they're allowed to feel.
Each your own. Feel how you feel.
Yeah.
Just don't act poorly amongst people. Just because you feel a way doesn't mean you have to be rude to somebody or treat someone like trash. It's like everyone has a story to tell. Like, that's the thing right there. Everyone has their own story. Everyone is literally living their own story, so they have their own story to tell. Everybody's life is different. I don't care what anyone says where they're like, oh, it's this, this, this. Yeah, you can see some similarities in all of these things, but listen to this person tell their story, and you'll see what's different if you listen to what that person that you feel is the exact same, how different it is from them. You just have to listen. And I'm not saying all of them are worth listening. If you don't like what
some people are really boring, for example.
If you don't like what you're listening to, don't fucking listen to it. Like, enjoy what you enjoy. Don't enjoy what you don't enjoy. That's fine. But it doesn't mean that everyone isn't valid for their story or for being out there.
Yeah.
To try and put it out there if they so choose to do so.
Yeah.
Like, and if that's something you want to rule with and try and make something out of, it could possibly work.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's because of the internet. It could possibly work. It's fucking impressive.
It really is. And I think that there is like this huge, you kind of said all stories kind of will sound the same, but like the details of the way somebody tells their story might be different. And I think that that is just a human experience, that we do have a lot of relatable stories, not because
relatable
regardless of whatever your background is, just because it's their human experiences.
Yeah,
and
relatable.
I think people crave real human experiences. That's why unscripted podcasts have blown the fuck up.
No shit.
Because people want to hear people talk
just
realistically.
Talk.
Yeah.
But
what's been our fucking motto like for the longest time since we started this? We just want to drink beer and talk.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Cheers, mate. But relatable isn't the same as it's the same story. It's like, oh, I can relate to that. I had something similar happen. It was different. I was involved and someone else was involved or something else.
It was different because I was there.
It's different.
Buddy.
But no, I'm just saying, like, those circumstances make it different. And it's like, oh, I can relate. I had it's always similar. It's never the exact same. If it's the exact, if somebody says, oh, I had something just like that happen to me, and then tell the exact same story that you just told, that didn't happen to them. They're just trying to relate to you.
I mean, yeah.
Because they can't help themselves. And that's another thing. We're not here to talk about human psyche.
Craving human interaction is something that's, I mean, probably, if we want to delve into it, it's a smidge of human psyche.
We can.
COVID had a big impact on the uptick in podcasts, too, because people were craving human interaction. They really wanted to. And we're not going to make a comment one way or another about the validity of COVID or anything like that. Point is, a lot of people were.
We condone nothing. We didn't condone COVID.
Yeah.
Whether it happened or it didn't, however you look at it, weirdos.
Long story short is it made it so a lot of people were stuck in their homes, and there was this yearning for human interaction. And I think that just people just sitting around telling stories was healthy.
One of the biggest things you could do with it, because, you know, once you got done with all the reruns and new shit wasn't coming out, and you're like, what do I do with myself? I'm gonna rip my hair out. Oh no, I will turn on the radio, and all they're talking about is new shit, and you're like, that's not helpful. Isn't like there's someone who can just tell me a nice sci-fi story on the radio? Oh, yeah, sit around and listen to Grandpappy tell you a story.
And you weren't going over to Grandpappy's at the time.
Yeah, on the phone. Yeah, phone still works. So,
yeah,
we just
true.
FaceTimed everyone.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Craving human interaction. And I just to dive a little more in that human psyche, obviously, we are craving some human interaction as well. Excuse me. Not just during that time, but that's why we like doing this.
Yeah. I mean, we're really social people. Like, I would argue that we're like social introverts.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yes.
we kind of talked about this in a previous episode, but like being around people for too long drains us. but at the same time, we're like, we also still crave to be around people. We like to talk to people. We like to have conversations. We like to meet new people. There's nothing wrong with any of that. And there's also nothing wrong with seeking alone time and wanting that too.
Very necessary.
And I think that you and I were fucking barflies at the time. And we were always after work fucking pumping over to go.
Not just barflies. Like, we literally are like, just like, we get done with work. Now what?
Yeah. Now what are we going to do? Yeah.
Go have some drinks. Like,
have
we're
some
still
drinks.
amped. We got shit to do.
Have some drinks to go talk to some people
Yeah,
and
exactly.
talk to each other for that matter too in a social setting. And then when that all got just fucking squashed, we were just like, well, we already work with each other and we're in close proximity. You may as well just come over to my house and we'll start recording a podcast. And that's kind of how Bear on the Keyboard started.
And I said, fuck you, no, never again will I even
Ever
step
again.
foot into your house. And he was like, but beer? And I was like, ooh, and talking? Fuck, yeah, I'm in.
My two favorite things.
Like, let's do this.
Yeah. I thought you were going to be like, never again will I be on a podcast. Like you were doing them back in like 2012 or some shit.
No, I was doing them back in the olden times.
Old time radio.
Oh, no, that's when I was just standing outside of...
Cracked himself up with that one.
Shit.
I didn't even get the punchline.
Nope, I know. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just picturing me outside. Oh fuck! What is? I can't even think of what it's called. Where Congress would meet. Not our Congress. Roman.
Oh, like the Roman Senate?
Yeah, what is the name? I can't think of the name of the building. It just like left me as the image. So I have a very photographic or pictorial mind. I don't know what that's called, but I just had this image pop in my head of me just standing out there with someone else, and we're doing our podcast while the Senate is meeting. But it's during Roman times. Those are old podcasts in my head.
A rabbit hole that went
I
down.
know. I'm so sorry. I'm sure I just look a little manic, and that's fine. I'm okay with it.
What's the building that the Roman Senate?
Please tell.
Let us know.
Please tell me.
What's the building
I know
they
it has
met
a
in?
Name. The image popped in my head, and then the name of everything
Right
was
there.
gone.
It's right there for me too, dude. I don't know what the fuck
biggest,
it's called.
My biggest problem was like the name for everything. It took me everything. I'm like, Roman. Everything was gone. The image got me hard.
Roman.
Only because, I used to be doing podcasts, but yeah, that was a long time ago. Back when Caesar was holding meetings.
You talk like the fucking the chick from the Mario Brothers movie. Back when Caesar was holding meetings.
Yeah, because I like to harken back to the good old days.
Good old days. Hey, yo, Caesar. They're like, okay.
Oh fuck. Sorry, that was a weird rabbit hole. I can't help myself. But yeah, no. That's why we started podcasting. Good times, so far, and good times to come.
Almost assuredly, and I just really like that. I just really like Fritz's story there when it comes to.
I think it's awesome. I mean, honestly,
it's a dude who's being himself, and boom, people latched onto that.
Circling back to that, that's another thing. Like when we started doing this, we said like we're not going to try and jump on trends or anything like that. We're not saying we won't do things that might be in trend.
Only if we give a shit about it.
Yeah, we're not going to jump on trends. What we're going to do is do us. We're just going to be us and have a good time being us.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yep.
That's what we're doing.
Isn't that just a metaphor for life? That's all you really can do, right?
I mean, it is
be you and see what happens.
It is a metaphor for life. Don't worry. Learn some stuff along the ways. Learn to grow.
You is the you now is not the you 10 years ago. That's the same with everyone.
The you that is Beer on the Keyboard isn't the same as it was fucking 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So, like, you grow. Learning is important. Growing happens if you're willing to take on the learning. And even if you don't learn how you should learn or whatever, you're still growing. You're not still not the same.
Yeah.
You're just a little more bitter probably if you don't take on some lessons
Yeah.
and change a little
Yeah. If you don't see the world for what it is and maybe adjust
appropriately.
appropriately. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
Like,
saying change yourself entirely,
oh,
because that's the other thing is like change is a natural thing. That's a part of growth. You've been changing since you were born.
yeah.
I mean, your parents were changing you at first,
It's-
but because of your butt. It's I mean, you're constantly changing. You get stuck in how you feel about a way or how you feel things should be, and then you're like, I'm not gonna let that change. I'm not gonna let that change, and that's what makes you feel worse and worse and worse as you go.
yeah.
Don't you don't need to do that. Fritz has got the right idea. Like, just enjoy life. It's okay. Like,
All down that hill.
fucking yeah, fall down that hill.
Yep.
It might be the best hill you've ever fallen down.
Might end up someplace better.
Like that's
And at the end of that hill, you'll still be you.
yeah, you're still going to be you. No matter what, you're still going to be you.
You know what? Now I'm getting cynical. This has been a schmaltzy episode.
You're just gonna get better and become better. I know we ain't got schmaltzy. I can't help it. We're talking about good shit that people
Yeah.
just look. Much love to everyone out there.
Not everything needs to have this fucking air of just like shitty, bitter cynicism to it, though. And that's something that we're cynics through and through. But we also like are just. But we also just think people should just be good.
That's why I'm such a cynic. Is because I've spent my entire life feeling like just be good. And I will always be good to people. But because of that, I also have learned how I see people and how I cope with how people can't grasp that is with cynicism and sarcasm and poking fun. And I won't change that. So I hope I can find a way to mold, and I've always hoped, and I'm still looking for that, and I learn and grow with it as much as I can to use those things to help people see why it's just easier to be like, I don't even have to wave, but hey man,
Yeah.
someone's like, hey, how you doing? And you just go, fine, and just keep walking, or fucking just ignore them. You don't have to be like, or blow up on them. That's silly.
And that's a pretty poignant statement too, is that you can seek growth and evolution in yourself while still staying true to yourself, but also recognize that like you're gonna, I guess not stumble, but there's always gonna be like, you're gonna get annoyed and you're gonna get whatever about people sometimes, and that's fine, and that's okay. And honestly, just dealing with
we exist.
Yeah, no shit.
You live with yourself. If you don't get annoyed with yourself, you're not a person.
Yeah,
because you
for
get
real.
annoyed with
You're
yourself,
your harshest critic.
you'll definitely get annoyed with other people because you're like, I'm people. Yeah, people are annoying. I know me. Seriously.
Yeah.
Again, very cool that Fritz able to do this, make this happen, and all because we have this beautiful resource that was designed for information, and it feels like if you look in the right places, even if you're not looking in the right places, it is more prominent now
Yeah.
due to a thing that may or may not have existed because we condone nothing. I mean, whether it existed or not, or it was all a ploy,
There are still consequences
it's
for
still
it.
called COVID. It's called the Dark Ages or something like that.
Yeah, no shit.
whatever it's being referred to.
Yeah.
It has opened up this whole thing where you find it everywhere, and you see this use of the internet, and like you said, just these podcasts coming out of people just talking, but also these other like things of people just doing stuff solo, and that being a thing, whether it be outdoors things or craft things or whatever. It's just really blown up a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of a shame that the internet is like this very. It was like you said, it was designed to transfer information
information, yeah.
and be this network of information for the human race. And on the one hand, we're seeing this huge influx of people who are just like sharing their stories and sharing the information that they have. But at the same time, on the other hand, you're seeing this huge influx of non-human interactions
Right?
on the internet, like this whole dead internet theory that most of the internet is like AI or bot generated content at this point. And it sucks to have both of those things be true at the same time,
His
because they really are.
his the war of the way of the worlds.
This is the war of the way of the worlds. Yeah. Well, thanks guys for hanging out with us and letting us just wax.
Kind of ramble a little bit.
It was
but
a bit of a ramble, but it was, I don't know, it
wax
was a
internet.
wholesome ramble.
Hope so. I felt whole about it.
Yeah.
And somewhat
And
good.
some. I felt whole and some about it.
I felt somewhat whole.
So thanks again to our sponsors there, good old Wildman Drinking Company and the Kraken 2.0 amongst their other products. And
Check 'em
don't
out.
forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel if you like what we're doing. And if you're listening to it on Spotify, like, give us a like there too. You don't have to watch us on YouTube. If you're seeing this on YouTube, check us out on Spotify and vice versa. And also check out other stuff. We have other shit on our YouTube channel.
Comments. See what happens.
Yeah.
See what happens in those comments.
And of course, on Saturday and Sunday nights too, we're streaming live on Twitch.
We
So
are still doing Twitch stuff on those weekends.
yeah, so we got lots of stuff going on. Next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.